Welcome back on deynonmod. Today I want to propose you a video about the unboxing review about the White Dwarf issue 525 released by the game Shoshu for June 2026. So we can start to see about the cover stuff that is related about the city of Sigmar, in particular about the Cogfort, that you try to push quite a lot that you buy it, because it's really quite intriguing. Remember that I had a video about the part of the rules for such model as for the supplement of the city of Sigmar. I'll leave you the link in description. So it's really quite intriguing because it's worth in some way, but it's also quite expensive, so it's intriguing also to find alternative ways to have it deployed. Okay, so we can start to see something related about here, the part of the rant moment. Okay, because this time I was able to find something that it was a bit better. As you can see, it's still quite a lot of defect. Okay, because it's been really sent not in a good way, and this is the best that I found. Believe me, that were even worse ones, so you please try to send them a bit better. Okay, and we can start to see about the inserts that are inside. Have had this part that as you can see, it's a little about what we've seen with a previous White Dwarf, so the White Dwarf issue 423, that you remember that it was about the duel of the Titans. It's this one. Remember that you can find my review about, and it's really quite intriguing about this one because we have here both this one for the Imperial one and this one for the chaotic part. Then usually we have the part related about the missions, so the one about Warhammer 40k one. Technically this should be still related about the 10th edition, but remember that has been released the 11th edition, so okay, it's anyway quite intriguing about. And then here we have the alternative for the part of the Age of Sigmar one. This it's calling back for the 2021, so it's always amazing. I love to see such things because it lets you understand that you can really have an alternative way, so that it's really quite intriguing to be able to recover all the battle plans and so on and be able to play stage. So I love such things. Here we have the alternative cover of the White Dwarf. As you can see, it's the same that you can see here, okay, but without any writing. It's could be interesting. Remember that you can save money about here and have the alternative cover. Still, I received some, I can say, not good claim about the delivery of such things, but okay. And sometimes there is also alternative ways for these ones. Remember that this has been the alternative cover that we've seen for this one, and okay, so you have to take note about. Still, it's something that it's to consider. So now it's time to start to see the contents inside. Here we have the introduction about the White Dwarf. Here the contents of the White Dwarf itself. So it's really quite intriguing and quite balanced, as you can see, about Age of Sigmar and Warhammer 40k. We can start with the part about Age of Sigmar, and here there is something that I love, because there is the part about the background. Here in particular there is quite a lot of background related about here it's Lethis, and so it's about Shaish, and it's quite intriguing because they give you quite a lot of information about Morda, about the fact of the Abyss of Endenarm, the relationship of this city with the Nagash and the Undead themselves. So it's really quite intriguing. Moreover, because you had also quite a lot of intriguing referral also about a Flashpoint Lethis, that I want to remember you that it was released in these books, that it was the White Dwarf 506, 507 and 508, and these were really fantastic, and I suggest you to recover about this because there were the ways to play in Lethis, so amazing one. Moreover, that was the part about having the Petrifex Elite, the Grand Necromystic and so on, so it's really quite intriguing, and if you combine the background of this and those White Dwarf, you can gain quite a lot of information, and sincerely this has been fantastic. I love this part, moreover because it's related about the Osteoboripes in a lot of ways, so it's quite intriguing because remember it was also the tomb where it was buried. So okay, then had this that it's about Greywater Fasteness, that it's about the one that it's a city of Kiran. So okay, also this one quite intriguing. It's quite nice to understand much better about certain cities, so not bad at all. Then about the city of Renown for the Lethis one. So this combined with the fresh point that I talked about of Lethis, it's really quite amazing. So it's not bad at all, because there was the way to be able to play with the Osebo Reapers. Here there is about the city of Sigmar, because remember that has been released for the 4th edition, the city of Sigmar Battletome, this month in May, June. So it's really quite intriguing one. So it's quite intriguing. Remember anyway that these are legend rules, so remember that it's not something that you can bring in tournament, but you can have quite a lot of fun. So it's quite intriguing. Moreover, I repeat, because there is here the Raven Pistol Murder that you can play, you can really have quite a lot of fun with. Then there is also about the Greywater Fasteness that you can play with. So also another city. It's really quite nice in my opinion, because you can really personalize quite a lot the ways that you can play with. So not bad. It's always nice to see such models about the city of Sigmar. And then we can find about Sigmar's Faithful. So a bit of designer notes of the Battletome of the city of Sigmar, that it's one of the most important ones about obviously the Age of Sigmar, because it's one of the main faction, and it's really quite intriguing. So I suggest again to follow what I said in the video related about the supplement for the city of Sigmar, because it can give you quite a lot of information too. And so here we can see some of the models and so on, and quite a lot of information. I really quite appreciate with such things. Obviously there is the part about the Cogforts, because again GW tried to promote this quite a lot. So okay, not bad. You can really personalize, you can see how much you can personalize them and so on. And remember that these are about the city of Sigmar, but you can personalize the Cogforts for other armies too. So it will be really quite intriguing about. As you can see, there is also other options and so on available. It's really quite intriguing. Okay, this it's something that I'm quite wow for this, because they are the Sheish mages. Wow, nice. So quite a lot of things that it's really quite intriguing. So these models come from the cities of Ashes, so it's option, another option. Then we had the part about the cities of Sigmar part 2, and here we can see that it's the continuation of what we've seen in a previous White Dwarf, that it was in this case about the 522, that it was for March of 2026. So also here could be really quite nice. And here we have so the option to see personalization and so on. I always find quite intriguing about such ones, because they can give you quite a lot of ways to personalize, so based on the cities and so on. We are seeing inside here that we can have, for example, 2 of the cities that we can personalize as rules. So having a themed army, I think that it was always amazing. So why not characterize them quite a lot? I think that it's really quite fantastic in their own ways, so not bad at all. And really quite nice, because you have really quite a lot of options, and you can also see that you can modify pieces. For example, this is integration about this model that it's for the I don't have Deepkin, and for example I myself I converted this in a way to have Navy for the undead. Okay, here it's a modification of a model of Nargol, for example, so you can have quite a lot of nice options. Here we have about painting, so always useful. Even if you don't paint these models as these, it could be nice for techniques to use or so on. It's always quite nice. And so having some suggestion, it was always good. Here we had the Tale of 4 Warlords, so we had the continuation about the cities of Sigmar, but the Age of Sigmar 1, okay. So we have, for example, this that it's related about the Osebo Reapers. Remember that I made videos related about my ties, for example, here the Morgas, so it's not bad at all, and also the Mortarks themselves. It's really quite intriguing, because it's a way to see other scheme of colors that could be interesting and so on. I think that it's quite nice. Here about the Hallowed Knight, so the Stormcast Thanos ones. Here instead have this that it's about the city of Sigmar, so it's perfectly themed, and you can really quite having a lot of intriguing fun about, so not bad at all. Then we can see this that it's about the Orcs, okay, with here the Goblins, okay, with the Wolf Riders. And then we can see this that it's the battle report about here the cities of Sigmar against what is a mix here, the army of the city of Sigmar, as you can see. and the mix of the Nagos and the part about the Smith of Hashut. So not bad at all, sincerely. And as usual, I suggest you to see about this, because you could have fun, for example, seeing part about the armies and so on, even if some of these models were seen just before. And we can see, for example, this shiny feature that we have seen in previous White Dwarf. So it's really quite nice to see them apply on the battlefield. Not bad at all. And also see maybe some image and so on. It's always nice because in a way you can read about how the things are played and so on, and so maybe also how you can play. So if you're interested about knowing a game that usually don't play, for example Warhammer 40k, you're curious about Sigmar, this it's a way to know much better, or see the photos to recreate some dioramas, so on. I think that it's always quite nice. So it's always quite intriguing to have these battle reports inside, because you can understand how it's played the game and so on. I think that it's quite fantastic, and you can see some models that are painted that are always amazing ones. So okay, not bad at all. And then we move to the Warhammer 40k. Here had talking about the warzones. It's talking about Warhammer 40k and Armageddom, but also other ones. So it's always quite nice, because there's been published quite a lot of manuals related. So it's always quite intriguing. For example, the other one, it's about Armageddon. We have seen with the return of Yarick, and now with the Operation Imperator for the 11th edition. So not bad. So there is quite a lot of options that are available, and it's really quite nice, because here, for example, we can see Armageddon, the milestone that has seen the part about of the 500 words, that it's the part that we've seen with the end campaign for the end of the 10th edition. So it's always quite intriguing. Then we have this, that it's about the building the striking force, and here it's really about something that we've seen with previous Without that has been continued. Because about here we can see that it's the continuation of what we've seen first with the previous White Dwarf, the 524, and then with the other two that are the 519, that it's this for the December 2025, and the other one that it's for the 522 here. Okay, that again it's for the March 2026. So combining all these, you can see the progressing of the creation of the army. Obviously it's an idea, so it's really quite nice to see the suggestion how you can develop it. It's always quite intriguing in such a way. So use this simply as a referral, so that you can see what you can play with along the developing of the army and so on. I think that it's nice. And here we can see how you can bring up what you had before and move on. So I think that it's quite nice. Now I had this, that it's quite intriguing. We've seen this also in another White Dwarf, that it was about the Sister Battles and the Necrons. And here it's interesting because put like this, it's like a sort of battle report with graphic ones. So I think that it's really quite intriguing in my opinion. So it's not bad at all, because you can see how it's developed and so on. And I like the effects, so you can really create quite intriguing, I can say, battle report with a combination of images and little effect and so on. So not bad at all, because you can make quite intriguing photos about something that you play. So it's an option, and I quite appreciate such things. So why not? Because in a way it's something that you could try, in my opinion. Then we see the part about the Titanic duels. As I said, sorry, it's about what we've seen with the White Dwarf 523. So remember that it's best combined with these ones, so that you can have the rules and apply these ones again, because this is an upgrade in some way. So here we have these ones that are what we've seen in the cards that were attached. So it's an option. Remember that you could also photocopy these ones if you need, so it's not a problem. And the cards are detachable, but you risk to lose, so not bad in such a way. They had this, that it's about the Black Library, and it's interesting because it's related about Armageddon. So we have a short story, a new one, related about Armageddon. Remember that I showed you a video that, if you want, I leave it in the description, with the suggestion about some reading that were related about Armageddon in some way. So the Green Tide, the the part about Yarrick the Omnibus and the Carnage Unending. So it's an option that could be really quite intriguing to develop your interest for such type of background that I love sincerely. And here having something new, it's not bad at all. I quite like. Moreover, I appreciate because you could read, for example, in such a way to improve your English, to know an author that you usually don't know, or an army that you usually don't follow, or system too. So it's really quite intriguing. Moreover, this time it's a standalone story. It's really quite intriguing and not bad at all. Then I had about the bunker, as granted. So here we can see what will be coming also soon. Here it's a mix of what it was later about the clubs and the main list of the readers to the White Dwarf. And as always, I suggest you to see and read, because there are some things that could be interesting for schema colors, conversions, and so on, that could be really quite intriguing, so that you can have some ideas about. You don't necessarily need to have, okay, how to paint really like this, but okay, I like such effect, I like such a conversion, I like such a detail, and I use this for my options. So I think that it's really quite fantastic, because it has quite a lot of potential, and I quite appreciate it. Moreover, you can see some details, for example, the Space Marine here that are under here, so you can really perceive better about some scales, even if, sincerely, about the Titans, I prefer as I showed you, because I brought videos about the part about the Legions Imperialis that are smaller and more intriguing in some way. So, because these ones are too big, much more, they are too expensive for me. So not bad, but you can see also some intriguing conversion, as I said here for the orcs. Okay, not bad at all. It's really quite strange but nice. Also here about here an article about crabs and so on that could be quite intriguing also to know better. Maybe it could be used as a referral for some club association and so on. So not bad at all. And so we can then see the pack with this that recall what we've seen, the theme of this White Dwarf, that it's one of the main themes, that it's the city of Sigmar that start and end the White Dwarf. So to say about such White Dwarf, sincerely I loved it. I think that it's really quite amazing. Moreover, about the part for Age of Sigmar, because there is my weak point, Lethis, but consider it with a bit of neutrality, okay? Both the systems are developed in really quite interesting way, because both of them has background. We have seen the two cities for the Age of Sigmar part, and for the part about Warhammer 40k, we have the part about the Warzone, and for the Black Library, we had the new short stories related about Armageddom. So I think that they are really quite balanced in such a way. Moreover, we had the part about painting, modifying, and so on, that I think that it's quite balanced, and it's always quite nice. If you go to see about the rules, we have the Army of Renown on the side, and the part about the Titan duel continuation on the Warhammer 40k one. So I think that it's balanced, because they are set the lines, okay, but they're both interesting. And then we had the part about the battle reports, because you had the official one for the City of Sigmar, but I consider the graphic ones, okay, with the theme of Warhammer 40k a battle report, because sincerely I think that it's perfect in that way. So it's really comprehensive, and I quite appreciate about such thing. You could say, okay, but as being listed this month the new edition of Warhammer 40k, the 11th edition, Armageddon, why not dedicate the White Dwarf to this? Because they dedicated all the last month White Dwarf mainly about Warhammer 40k with the end of the 10th edition and the various campaign, okay? So they needed to give more space about the City of Sigmar, because it's one of the main battle related about Age of Sigmar, because there is a key point story about. So I think that it was really quite important about having the developing of the Age of Sigmar one. So I think that it's quite okay. Moreover, you have to remember that you have the next month when everyone would have bought the new set box for Warhammer 40k Armageddon, and so they'll talk and they describe even more without any problem. So I think that it's really quite balanced in such a way. Moreover, remember that I'll bring up also a video about the unboxing with added notes of the new edition set box Armageddon, because I made yet a video that is related about the unboxing itself, because you made the unboxing, so I described the wolf and so on. I calculated how it's worth and how much there is inside. And here instead, with the new video that it's arriving, I'll bring instead other information related, so there will be complementary and not I can say duplicate of it. So I think that it's quite nice. So I think that this White Dwarf was not bad at all, but I'm also quite curious about your opinion. Are you interested about what has been said in this White Dwarf? Are you intrigued about the background that you've seen about for both Age of Sigmar, for Shaish, and Giran? So it's really quite interesting. Or are you interested about the short stories for the part of the White Dwarf of the Black Library and Armageddom itself? I think that it's quite intriguing in different ways, so I'm quite curious about your opinion. Or you prefer something different? You would no, I want to everything about Warhammer 40k because till it ended everything related about the passage of edition. I wanted everything related and so on. I'm quite curious about your opinion, because sincerely I think that this was perfect in such a way, quite balanced and really quite nice, but it's also nice to give some discussion about such arguments. So write in the comment if you're interested to continue and say your opinion about. Anyway, from deynonmod it's everything. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell so to receive notification about new video, to comment under here about this video, or if you want to suggest me new videos. So I hope to see you again to the next time.